If classic cars are such a good idea, why is the horizon strewn with so many for sale? This type of sell your car event is new and ably demonstrates just how keen some sellers are to offload their classics. Drive in, pay a £50 fee, polish her up, put your price on the screen, and you might catch a passing buyer's eye, or not, as the case may be, because for some, the sepia-tinted dream of owning an old car has turned into an unsaleable nightmare. The tales of financial loss are legion, like this fully restored Bristol 403, up for sale at half its cost. The owner of this Derby Bentley has been forced to cut his losses too.
A nut and bolt restoration has been done on the car and it doesn't come cheap. But expense actually has overtaken me slightly. And I have to sell the car now for less than it costs to actually do. It's cost me probably £60,000. I originally tried to get £80,000 because that was a consensus of opinion that the car was worth that. But I've brought it down to 60, now to 45. But I don't think actually dropping the price is going to actually try and sell the car any better. I don't think that is a problem. I just don't think the money is around.
DeLoreans used to be rare and bought for investment. We came across no less than 3 and a dealer who had caught a cold.
There's a bit of interest myself. I run it a while, maybe sell it for a profit. I think it was the worst thing I'd ever done.
So there's no profit in it?
No, nothing at all. No, I mean, when you're taking... I'd gone right through the car and made it right mechanically and new tyres and this, that and the other. You take into account our labour on it, I'll be at a loss whatever I sell it for, I think, really, now. People are very interested in them, so you say, do you want to buy it? And then they run away.
Yeah, I mean, there's one across there with £17,000 on the screen, yet this is only, what?
10. I'd let it go for about 8.5 though, just to get rid of it.
Even once fashionable icons like this Bentley S2 and Cadillac have shed their value like dandruff.
Oddly enough, I think the most spectacular losses are with the young people who thought that they could buy into a market that was rapidly moving up and were left with their cars when the market collapsed. By and large, dealers have suffered losses, but they made some very good profits when the market was on the way up, and they've been able to cover their positions for the most part.
Empty rhetoric is still talking the market up, a process much in evidence at the parade at Sandown Park.
Road tested, it gave a maximum speed of 131 miles per hour. To my way of thinking, at £9,000, it's very, very cheap.
But is it? We asked the owner of this Sweeney-style Granada to justify his price tag.
It's the longevity of it. It's now done 181,000 kilometres. The engine's never been touched. It's air-conditioned. It's got a power roof, power steering, power brakes. But I feel that the nearest car that you can compare it with is the Triumph Stag. And that, in good condition, sells for £9,000. So I think the Stag's worth £9,000. I'm sure this is worth £9,000.
It's all a question of what you want to believe. Yet the hyperinflation and price hiking continues. We'd come across this one before. This is a very pretty 14,000-mile MG Magnet, but it was sold at auction not a month ago for $71.50, and here it is today with a tad less than 10 grand on the screen. The textbook inflationary spiral. We mustn't forget that for many people, the ownership experience isn't just about money. Old cars are fun, and most old car people are just in it for a good day out. Thankfully, old car prices will never go berserk again. Good news for real enthusiasts, because classic cars have once more become affordable. These days, it's a buyer's market with more motors than punters, so there's no need to settle for anything less than the real McCoy. The really sensible thing about events like this, unlike auctions, is that you can actually physically have a test drive. Now look what I found. A 67 289 Mustang, so we've just got to take it out. It's a pretty car, but it'll set you back a solid £8,000, and I, for one, couldn't put my hand on my heart and say it won't be worth just £5,000 next year. And when the novelty's worn off and winter approaches, your dream might be a little tarnished by the wallowy ride, ponderous handling and 15 to the gallon. What if we were to spend a few thousand more, say 12 grand? We'd then be in the market for one of the best sports cars in the world, and we could forget the classic alternative altogether. Nostalgia's fine, but common sense says that cars should really be judged on their ability. Our 12 grand buys us this low mileage Porsche 944 Turbo or this 1952 Daimler DH27 limo. We will not be awarding any prizes for guessing which one I would choose. As for the future, all indicators suggest that the market is still in freefall.